Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. It is the eve of Friday, which always makes everybody really excited. It's going to be a great weekend. I can already feel it. I have my flip-flops on still, and that is actually the basis of how I decide whether it's going to be a good day or a bad day, is if I have to put socks and actual shoes on or not. But today we have an awesome show lined up for you. It's Match Madness for Big Brothers, Big Sisters. So we're going to tell you all about that and how you can help and be a part of that and all the exciting things that you can do as a big. Also, we're going to teach you how to be super extra this Easter and make the deviled eggs, like actually peel them, which is a task for me, but then turn them into those cute little chicks and the cute little bunnies that they, you see those moms and dads that are like really extra on Easter. We're going to teach you how to do that on today's show. And big debut. So our friends at Lutheran Living sponsor This Day in History every single day. And this day in history, 1983, our friends Michael Jackson performed live for the first time the moonwalk. And so I thought, well, what better way to celebrate than ask Jose, who happens to be the best dancer at Hy-Vee, and possibly in the whole entire town.
We're hoping for that.
Possibly the whole entire town is what I hear. He is going to perform for us his version of the moonwalk. And I'm telling you folks, you're going to be jealous of his moves real soon, right? I mean,
very jealous, that's right.
He's been practicing all morning for weeks and weeks on end. I actually just told him about 10 minutes ago that
sleep over it, constantly practicing. That's right.
Constantly practicing for you. So he's going to show us how the moonwalk is done. And I don't know, you do you. Whenever you're ready.
Try to remember the way it was the first time I saw it on stage.
Okay, yep.
I'm going to say this foot came up.
Yep.
This came over.
Oh, dang.
And just throw them arms in there.
Look at him.
Oh, then they don't have no idea where you're going.
They don't have any clue what's happening. You've got to be like the best in town, at least.
I do try.
Thank you for coming over.
Of course.
That is how the moonwalk's done. If you guys want to try to do the moonwalk, send in your videos. I'd love to see if anyone can beat him. I really don't think it's possible.
Challenge accepted.
But challenge accepted. So thank you so much for coming on and entertaining us first thing on the show. We're going to go to a couple little commercials for you and pull in Lindsey so that we can talk about Match Madness.
The doors are blowing up this weekend here, guys. We have a 99-cent sale going, guys. There's over 50 items in our store, everything from ketchup, buns, King's Hawaiian buns, cookies, tuna, everything, bakery items, kitchen items, guys. Make sure you stop in and see us this weekend. The 99-cent sale is blowing out our doors.
So Jose's pretty good. I'm still a little baffled that he could get his arms and legs moving at the same time. But so we have Lindsey from Big Brothers Big Sisters here to talk. I saw a flyer floating around about Match Madness, which makes total sense. And I'm like, this is brilliant. This has to be the coolest thing ever. So tell us a little bit about, I mean, obviously you're looking for bigs, but tell us how many matches you guys, what's your goal throughout March. I mean, we're coming to an end. How you've been doing so far with the Match Madness, and I don't know, even maybe we should talk a little bit about what's it mean to be a big too, just for people who don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna do the math because I feel really muffled.
Yes.
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
So Match Madness, I stole that idea from some other Big Brothers Big Sisters agencies that have just played with the words and made it a fun recruitment tour. So last year, of course, with COVID, we really went into.
You're fine.
My microphone.
I think it's fine.
Would I break it?
Okay, we're gonna come right back. That's okay.
I'm Tennille with R7 Reclaimed, located in Grandview, Iowa. We mix old and new goods together so that you can find the story of your home and let your home tell your story the same way R7 is our story. When you get here, you will find a mix of old and new goods that are put together so seamlessly you won't even be able to tell which is which. And not only that, it's going to speak to you and your home. It started with just my love for old chippy things and changing out what I had in my home and showing DIYs from our home. And we went on the road as vendors to get rid of a few extra things, and people started saying, "Do you have a store?" And so that planted the seeds. We are worth the road trip. We call it the R7 Road Trip. You can come to one of our big events and experience the music, the food, and the fun, or you can come on most weekends and enjoy a quiet day in the countryside shopping old and new mixed together in our beautifully reclaimed barn. So punch in 337 Cemetery Lane, Grandview, Iowa into that GPS and make the road trip.
TJ Deere here at Toyota Muscatine, and this is what it feels like to have a brand new Toyota.
It's the new car smell.
It's the new stories.
It's the new adventure.
It's the memories.
Come and see us for your 2020 Toyota.
Hi, I'm Yvette Rios.
Oh, so Lindsey just Match Madness, mic drop, check. That's it. That's all you need to know. Broke the show. I agree. I mean, if you can't moonwalk, you have to do something to get a little attention on the show. And so, I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
And I didn't just drop it. It just didn't even work.
And just, we're done.
I sounded terrible.
I sound terrible. She sounds amazing.
Back at it.
Back at it.
All fits. The mic sounded terrible.
Yes, not Lindsey. So, anyways, so Match Madness.
Yes.
And you got the idea from another organization, another Big Brothers,
Right.
Big Sisters organization, and thought, this is brilliant. We're bringing it to Muscatine.
I think in
Gets me
true
excited.
fashion, we thought about it like, the first week of March, and everything has to start like the second week, and then there's spring break. So we knew that it was something that we needed to do because we really did have a lot of kids on our waiting list, and we needed to start focusing on recruitment because through all of last year, we really just tried to, I guess, support our matches and make sure that we could outlast a pandemic.
Yeah.
So this year we knew we had to get those kids matched. We had to start talking to our bigs, using them as our recruitment tool because their stories are the best and they're our best source, for referrals. So we reached out to Adam, who is a newer big brother, and asked if he would kind of help us out with it. And he jumped right in and was like, yeah, absolutely. What do you want me to do? So we made a video and we just started putting it out there and came up with a little logo and tried to make it visible. We have 30 kids on our waiting list, and that number is definitely low because we are still enrolling kids. So we've had a lot of kids. We stopped recruiting last year knowing that we wouldn't be making any new matches really. So now that number will definitely continue to grow. We have a lot of kids that have been on our waiting list, and most of them on there now, it's been over a year that they've been sitting on the list, some longer. So they're definitely ready to have a friend and someone to just hang out with them. I always say kind of like be their cheerleader, their support person, someone in their corner. So
I have seen lots of my friends are bigs, and so I always love seeing when they're able to share some of their like successes or the things that they're out and about doing. And sometimes it's as simple as like they went to lunch, or something with their little, or involving the family. I never knew before I think the last time we talked about how families could really be involved and kind of be like a big as a family. And I didn't really know that was a thing. So a couple of my friends involve their own children or their child, and they're all just like go out and do really fun things. So like how hard's that? But when you think about it, this last year has been tough on everyone, especially I'm sure these people on the waiting list who just want a little extra, a friend, like you said, just a mentor or somebody to hang out with and be their cheerleader. So my appointment's next Thursday, I think, for my interview. It's super easy. All I did was I just emailed Kathy and was like, hey, I want to be a big, what do I do? She sent me this little application and said, then we'll just get either you can come in person or do a Zoom call, and we just have to basically ask you a few questions about yourself and what you like to do so that we can match you with somebody who likes to do the same things. And that's as simple as it is. And so that's where I'm at in the process. But I assume after that, I just get matched and then I get to start hanging out, kind of.
So there's two different programs, the school-based program and then our community-based program. So school-based, traditionally, you would have went into the school and you would have met with your little, during the school day in the library, in the gym, or a common space where we would have activities there for you and you could do that. That's a popular one for parents with like young kids or someone that maybe lives out of town but works in Muscatine, because companies in the community support their employees going in and doing that on work time. This year, of course, it looks a little different, but those matches are still starting and they're still able to go on, but they're virtual now. So next year, hopefully, in those one-on-one settings, you'll be able to go back into the schools. I hope that happens. I think it will. So we should be able to resume as normal. The nice thing about virtual is some of those matches will be able to keep in contact a little bit more throughout school breaks and things like that when normally they wouldn't. The other program is community-based, and that's the one that you talked about where you could go out to lunch. You can go to the park. You can engage your family a little bit more with that. You can go swimming, whatever it is that you like to do. And then for that program, we are a little bit more hands-on in the beginning phases. So we're going to bring in the family and the little and you, and everybody has an introduction and you can talk about what do you want to do. We give you some ideas too, so that if you're like, I have no idea what we would do or where to even start with sharing my interests, we can come up right there with that meeting with your first or your second and third outings together and get those on the calendar so that you feel comfortable and you're ready to go. And then we follow up with you ongoing. So every, well, in the first couple weeks, we're going to just make sure everything started okay. How can we help? And then after that monthly, we'll just check in and make sure that you're still feeling okay about it and that the family feels okay, because we don't want you in a match that doesn't work either.
Right.
Because then that's not fun. So this is fun for everyone, and it's something that I think you'll hear a lot of bigs say, I did it to help a little, but really it helped me. And that, I think, is, I don't know of a big that hasn't said that, actually, because you learn a lot about yourself, and just you kind of find like your inner child a little bit too. And you feel really grateful for the opportunity to have this person in your life, to be in their life, and just, you know, it's a good experience.
Yeah. And so truthfully, like this interview will match me with someone who does like the crafty things and going to lunch and you know, going to the park and doing some of those things that I like, so that that's a little bit more natural, and we dig the same things. But also, like, I think about like the person and maybe their interests are a little bit different, and so you kind of get to learn something new and get outside of your comfort zone a little bit, maybe try a new sport or something like that too. So there's a lot of opportunity to grow, not only for the big or for the little, but also for the big. I like that. I think it's a great opportunity too for kids. I'm excited to, maybe not right off the bat, but once I get like connected with my little, I'm thinking like, oh, like bring in Hanley and create that relationship. And so I'm excited to get started. And this last year has been a little bit crazy, but we're getting over that. We're officially over that. So
hopefully soon, right? So, and I know my little hasn't been at my house for a really long time, but when she would come over, I think she had a blast hanging out with my kids and just seeing all their stuff. They wanted to show her everything, you know, like she didn't really hang out with me much when, when my kids were around, but they're a lot younger than her, and they just thought that was kind of cool. And she would go to the Y a lot too. So now every time my kids are at the Y, and it's been forever since I've gotten to see her, but they'll be like, is Emma here? Where's Emma?
Where is she?
No, I'm here. But so they do look for her and recognize her as just part of it, you know. So we saw someone the other day, and I was like, oh, that's Emma's brother. And they were like, oh, where's Emma? Like, so
where is this girl? Where'd she go?
Yeah, so everyone kind of starts to recognize them, you know, and you can do all kinds of things. Like you said, it's pairing by your interest. So my little and I went over the edge together. She's an excellent fundraiser, I've learned, and I am not. So I'm going to be asking her for tips a lot, I think, here coming up. But it's walking your dog, going to lunch, the car walk. I mean, anything to spend time together, and you know, just like we call up friends because we don't want to do something solo. It's the same thing. So yes, nobody wants to do stuff alone. No. I mean, come on. And we talk about the girl things, but you know, guys are harder to recruit. So if there are guys listening, and I think that's why we went with the Match Madness, is that most of the kids on our waiting list are actually little boys, because they're usually surrounded by girls and like everything they do, right? More teachers are girls, more, it's just that's who they're used to being around, and so they're looking for that one-on-one male connection. And we are hoping that this will trigger some of that in some guys that are watching, or ladies, if your husband just has way too much time on his hands and you want him to go for an hour, or you're in limbo, you know, maybe you're new to Muscatine as a young professional or something, and now is the time to volunteer. So the Y is open to all of our matches. You don't have to be members to come to the Y if you're with your little, and you can use the gym. We have activities there, ping pong, trail systems. You know, we could help you get some activities going, or make partners with someone if you're interested in things like that. So lots of things for the guys to do too, and that makes up the majority of our waiting list. So.
Yeah, well, like I always, my daughter doesn't love to go to the movies, but I always want to see all the Disney movies. So I think of like the same thing, like maybe you have a guy that like wants to go shoot hoops, but is like, I don't really want to do it by myself. I mean, you have like, a little partner, a little dude to go shoot hoops with or whatever. So,
and if you visit our website or our Facebook page, there's a video with Adam on there.
what am I going to say to you? Do you even want me to hang out with, you're questioning, like, should I even be a big? What makes me a good volunteer? So he mentions that the gym was their comfort zone, and really they just went and started shooting hoops, and everything was natural from there. So that, I think,
finding that one connection.
Yeah, and if you're questioning it at all, like we used to say, like, superheroes don't wear capes, right? You hear that saying all the time. Well, like, bigs also don't have to be the CEOs. They don't have to be the best at anything. I mean, you just have to be someone,
who cares?
Someone that can show up. Then, if you're never late for your hair appointment, like, you've already got it. You're consistent and reliable, and that's really what our kiddos need. So.
Yeah. So when you talk about that, the time you spend, is there, what's the requirement to be a big? And obviously you can go above and beyond that, but what do you really hope that bigs will provide as far as like every month and meeting with their little?
So we want volunteers to know that they're going to be in the community or be around for at least the next 12 to 18 months. We don't want this to just be like we hung out for a couple months and then I had to move, or we know things happen, of course, but ideally you're able to make that longer term commitment. But then it's about 4 hours a month or once a week for an hour. And then again, I was on vacation, right? So maybe we're not, or she was quarantined, so maybe we're not hanging out that week, but that you're just in communication with your little consistently and aiming for that 1 hour a week.
Yeah, that's awesome. And being able, 1 hour a week, I mean, you can do that.
You're like on your phone longer than that, just like scroll, so.
Yep. So if someone's out there, they don't have Kathy's email address at will, how do they become a big or start that process?
Yep, so they can send us an email. It's chazen, Hazen, at muscatiney.org, or you can call the Y. Our offices are right there. Send us a Facebook message. Send,
however you're comfortable to get started.
Stop in. We do have people that just stop in. If you're at the Y today working out, just walk into our office, ask us a couple questions about it.
Just easy peasy.
It is.
But it is Match Madness, and they have at least 30 kiddos that are waiting for a big, waiting for a connection, someone to hang out with. So we have to we have what, like a week left?
Yeah, and I mean, our recruitment is definitely not going to stop at that point.
Right.
So there is not like an enrollment period. So if you need a couple weeks to think about it, or it's just crazy right now, come when you're ready, because we don't want you to commit too soon either, or feel like you're rushed into the process. Just you can think on it, or as long as you need to. Really, we're just using the March Madness because we're hoping that people are checking their devices more often, and maybe you're following a team, or just something to make it a little fun and have you look twice. So really, that's what it is. We will not end the process on, is it April 3rd when they go to that? Yeah. So we're not going to do that.
No, I said yes, but I really don't know what the
Even if we're wrong, it works right now. But yes, so that's awesome. What we have going on.
It's easy to get started, to ask questions. Facebook, send an email, stop in, call the Y. Any of those things are options to get started, to start asking questions and see if it's a right fit for you. So I hope that you guys will all at least think about it and think about how it could make a change in your life and how you could really change the life of someone else in the process, and give them a call. At least ask some questions and see if it's a good fit for you, because it's Match Madness, and because we're all looking for ways to get out and build those connections again, and just get out of the house and
think of how cooped up you've been, or maybe not, but everyone has suffered a little bit socially, I think, and so we're just really needing those connections, and it's important. For our mental health, and volunteering in general just makes you a healthier person. Your insurance company will even tell you that, and you can check that box. Maybe you can get a little gift card for it, depending on where you work. So it's one of those things that it does your soul good. And so one other thing too, we just got notification that some funding was awarded as a sponsorship from Unity Point, Trinity Muscatine.
Oh, nice.
So they are actually going to be sponsoring match events for us throughout the remainder of the year. Cool. And so each month we will offer some kind of event for our bigs and littles. In the past we've done like Snow Star. We kind of missed that one this year, but maybe as it gets cold again, hopefully not too soon. But,
not too soon.
Yeah, so Snow Star has been one that we've done. Park outings, scavenger hunts. We will visit Muscatine area businesses. Hy-Vee has hosted us for cooking lessons and things like that. So those will be coming up too if you're still thinking like I have no idea what I would do. In our community-based setting, we'll supply you with some of those awesome days each month. So
yes, so fun stuff, fun opportunities for you to get out and about that are already like there.
Yes.
And then you just have to come up with a few other things to do with your little, and I think it'll come more naturally for people who are like, I don't know. Like I think it'll come more naturally than what you're thinking. I mean, there's a ton of great parks and things like that. The Y is an amazing place to start, like you said. So reach out, ask questions, think about it, and how it could fit into your life. Thank you for coming on, talking about it. And if you have questions, you can always, we'll put some contact info in the comment section of today's show so that you guys will have that super easy and readily available for you, that email address for Kathy to get started too if you're ready for that. Maybe you've been thinking about it for a while, and just do it, right?
Yeah.
It's like the thing, just do it.
And if you even want to be more hands-off and have us reach out to you, if you're not ready to talk to a person yet, you can go to bbbs.org and then click that Get Involved. You put in your zip code and it'll bring you right to us. You'll just enter a little bit of information and that'll start the initial screening process. And then we'll reach out to you to schedule that interview so that you don't have to, too many options, right? You're like, how do I start? So whatever you want to do, we're going to make it work.
Yep, sounds good. All right, so we're going to continue on with our Toyota What's in the Box before Lindsey scoots off today. And I wasn't here, so I'm not responsible for what's inside this box. That's what I always say. Okay. She's like, crap.
Chris.
Okay. So What's in the Box is sponsored by Toyota right across the way.
There's something in this bowl.
There's something.
Oh, I didn't open the doors.
Oh, that's okay.
Amateur.
Okay. You can't look at the TV. Don't be cheating.
I'm not looking. I'm looking right at the camera. Okay, it's a bowl.
It's a bowl. She's right about that. There is actually a bowl. I believe there's something in the bowl.
Is it a waffle? Ew.
Ew!
With like maybe even syrup and butter on it or something. Is that butter? What is that?
I think it might be. Did you know that it's International Waffle Day?
No, it's Moonwalk Day. So I was like, what's going to be in here? Like a glove or like what is?
It's International Waffle Day.
Oh, look at that.
Sorry about your sticky fingers.
That's okay.
That was Chris's fault.
Oh, it smells really good.
You smell like pancakes.
I do.
And waffles and syrup, and it's amazing. It's a little perfume for the rest of your day. Hopefully they'll hook you up with some soap and water when you
have to put like the eggs and the bacon in there too. So that it's like
next time,
next
and
time
bacon.
I want a full
Sunny
breakfast,
side
Chris.
Oh yeah, they even put the butter, the whole spiel right there for you.
Yeah.
Perfect. But now you guys know it's International Waffle Day, so you have to come celebrate. Grab yourself a waffle.
Yeah.
And
put syrup in my hair.
And she's gonna smear the syrup in her hair. Sorry about
that.
It
wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. You did good.
All right, so we are gonna go, and our friend from Hy-Vee is actually gonna teach us how to be super extra and make those deviled egg bunnies and chicks. So we'll go to that video now, and then I'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Yvette Rios, and these Easter chicks and bunnies are so easy and so cute that they're almost irresistible. Almost. Easter is all about cute, but before we get into the baskets and bunnies and bonnets and chicks, I need you to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss another one of my holiday how-tos. We're gonna start out with our bunnies. So what you're gonna need for this project is you're gonna need some hard-boiled eggs. So when you're making your hard-boiled eggs to dye, just go ahead and make a few more that you're gonna use for your centerpiece for your platter. So what you need is you need 2 hard-boiled eggs for each rabbit. So I'm gonna start out and I'm just gonna cut 1 egg in half. And this is gonna be our rabbit body. And then you're gonna cut your half into 2 halves lengthwise. And these are gonna be the ears. Now the second egg is gonna give you all the rest of the body parts. So cut a little bit here from the top of the egg for a tail. And you're gonna cut the bottom as well. Cut this right down the middle. Trim that up a little more, and then you're gonna have a head. I'm gonna cut this in half to make little feet. And then this is the perfect tail. Now for the face, cut a piece of carrot here to be our little nose. And then I'm gonna use 2 little black sesame seeds for the eyes. And then I'm gonna use some rosemary sprigs to make our whiskers. Here's a quick chick idea. These are deviled chicks and they're so easy to make. So Hy-Vee.com has a ton of deviled eggs recipes. You can choose whichever one you want, but I'm going with a tried and true, very simple recipe. You're gonna need the yolk of 6 eggs to be able to make the filling. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm just gonna trim a little bit off the bottom so that our chicks stand up. So you cut it down about 1/3, push the yolk out. There we go, and I'm gonna set these up. And then using a fork, just mash up your yolks. Add 3 tablespoons of mayonnaise. And then you're gonna use about 1 teaspoon of mustard. And then you're just gonna add a dash of paprika. Once you've got that mixed up, here's a good tip for filling your deviled eggs. You just grab a zip top bag and then using a spatula, just put it right in there. Close up your bag and you just make a small cut along the side. Okay, so then you're gonna use your bag to actually pipe the filling into the egg. Now for the face, you're gonna use little carrots, cut the tip off and you've got a beak. For the eyes, I'm using black sesame seeds. And then just top it all off with the top of the egg. And there you go. I'm gonna finish it off with 1 little carrot with our rosemary sprig. And look at that, all done. These are almost too cute to eat. Almost. For more of my holiday how-tos, go to hstv.com.
TJ Deere here at Total Muscatine, and this is what it feels like to have a brand new Toyota.
It's the new car smell.
It's the new stories.
All right, so if you want to be super extra this Easter, that is a really good way to start. Seriously, that bunny is adorable and those chicks. I think step 1 for me will be to actually figure out how to boil the eggs and get them peeled without like taking away the entire white part of the egg. I mean, like normally I end up with just the yolk. By the time I'm done, I don't know. There's a secret, I know this, I need to try harder. So maybe this will be my year. But if your bunny needs a little extra help, I wanted to let you guys know that Hy-Vee has some of these really great, already pre-made, super cute Easter baskets that have a ton of stuff, not just candy, but some toys and fun stuff for all the kiddos as well. So if your Easter bunny needs a little bit of help getting ready for next weekend, this is a really good way to get started. There are all sorts of different ones over there, and they start at like, I think these ones are like $19.99, and these are some of the bigger ones. There's other sizes available and tons of options available depending on what your kiddo likes. But I appreciate you guys all joining us. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Tomorrow, I think we're going to be actually going to the Y and learning how to play pickleball. I didn't know this was a thing. I don't know exactly what I'm getting myself into, but it's going to happen. So We'll all learn together, and I'm sure it'll be a good time. So we'll see you tomorrow. Until next time, remember that kindness is free. So spread that stuff wherever you go.
The doors are blowing up this weekend here, guys. We have a 99-cent sale going, guys. There's over 50 items in our store, everything from ketchup, buns, King's Hawaiian buns, cookies, tuna, everything, bakery items, kitchen items, guys. Make sure you stop in and see us this weekend. The 99-cent sale is blowing out our doors.